There is a specific sequence to follow when cutting custom-size insulation panels. First, you'll make your straight cuts. Then you'll cut your spline grooves, and finally, you'll route your edges. Let's take a closer look at each step. When you've determined the length and width needed, the first step is a standard straight cut. It's important to know that if you need to narrow a panel, always cut off the bottom edge, not the top edge. The top edge has two routed edges, a large kerf and a small one. The bottom edge only has one larger kerf. The supplied router only recreates the larger kerf for the bottom edge, so always maintain your top edge. If you need to shorten a panel, you can cut off whichever end works best because either end can be resplined with the supplied spline router as necessary. To make a proper straight cut, use a sturdy, raised surface to support the panel. Do not cut the panel on the ground or from an unstable surface. Use a chalk line and square. Use a toothed plywood-type blade only. Do not use knives, razor blades, hand saws, reciprocating, or jigsaws. Clean the panel of any loose foil and foam dust. If the custom panel is not connecting to another panel or green girt on its cut end, no further steps are necessary and you may proceed with installation. If your panel is to connect to another panel or girt, the next step is to recreate the spline groove. It's important to have the inside of the panel facing up when routing because the routers are preset to depths that only work if the panel interior is up. If the panel end was cut shorter, use the provided spline router to recreate the profile channel. Run this squarely along the cut end of the panel, in the direction of the arrow on the router's base. If you cut your panel narrower, you'll need to repeat this on the bottom edge of the panel. You'll also need to cut a custom-size spline to fit snugly between the top and bottom compression air seals of the green girt. With spline grooves and custom splines created, you may now proceed with routing the large kerf on the bottom edge of the panel. With the panel interior still facing up, run the bottom profile router squarely along the bottom inside edge of the panel, in the direction of the arrow on the router. With a properly cut and routed panel, you may now proceed with installation.